to Crypto 7, and we've had more what they call escalation in Iran and Iraq, but Hex and Pulsechain are looking really good, so that's what we should focus on. Also, I promised to talk about this 2-month signal that Richard Hart's given. He's given a signal that we're all going to be very happy in 2 months, so we're going to unpack that a bit in this stream. And what better time to be talking about the prospects of us all getting to Monaco in 2 months than on a day when Hex and Pulsechain are very much reversing the trend and very much standing out amongst the crowd by being up so much, guys. They're up massively. PLS is up 13.63%. I keep pressing refresh because I can't believe it. I don't know if there's a reason, but there doesn't have to be a reason other than people see the opportunity. Perhaps people are contemplating this 2 months that we've been talking about here on Crypto 7 and other Hex and Pulsechain streamers talk about. So PLS is up 13%. PLSX is up 20%. And this reminds me of when Ethereum was going up a lot in the last few days, and we see Uniswap going up a lot because Uniswap is Ethereum's DEX. And so Uniswap is like the leverage play on Ethereum to an extent, and of course PLSX is the leverage play on PLS to some extent. That's the rationale. And so it's funny how we're seeing exactly that. Incentive token is up an extraordinary, I've only just seen this, we're seeing this together, everyone. Say hi on your way in, guys, and super chats are enabled if you appreciate me streaming, frankly, a lot longer than I thought we were going to have to stream. Because the only reason you go far wrong in crypto, being bullish on certain cryptos for good reason, is because the timescale throws you out. I didn't think we'd be still waiting to get to Monaco, but here we are, and Richard has signaled that we could be there in 2 months. For the people uncomfortably invested in Hex and Pulsechain now. But if you're coming in now, if you're new to Crypto 7, warm welcome. We're talking mainly about Hex and Pulsechain today. We're going to talk about the cycle and stuff like that. I'm in no hurry. Make yourself comfortable. I've got my drink. You guys got a drink? So incentive tokens up 38.69%. That's a reward token that operates on Pulsechain. It has been referred to as Richard Hart's meme coin. It's got some nice branding. A lot of people get excited about it. The whole Monster Inc. play. There's lots of nice graphics and artwork around it. People love it. Hex on Pulsechain is up 13.2% and eHex is up 12.88%. We say jokingly that Crypto 7 is the leader of Hex on Ethereum, and since we have taken on this unpaid, self-appointed role as leader of Hex on Ethereum, it has been performing very, very well, guys. And as you can see, another day. And when you compare these gains, so it's hard to say what the average is there, but because INC is up so much, INC is up 39% basically. Because INC is up 39% in 24, is this right? Rubbing my eyes with disbelief. Because INC is up 38% in 24 hours, I'd say the average for the 5 RH core coins, the 2 hexes, PLS, PLSX, and INC, is probably over 20%. Probably over 20%. Yeah. Because you've got PLSX over 20%, you've got INC over 38%. So that pushes those averages for PLS, which is 13%, and the hexes, which are both at 12% now as we speak. So welcome if you're coming into Crypto 7. And we've got 43 people watching already. I really appreciate that. Please make sure you've liked and subbed. That would be appreciated. As I say, it's taken us a lot longer to get to Monaco than I thought, but I still very much believe that we will get there. And one of the reasons is because of what we were talking about yesterday, that it looks like Ethereum's going to do very, very well. It's probably going to be the most hated rally, and much like Solana was the most hated rally, up from $8 to 292 so far in this cycle. And I think it's going to be the same with Ethereum. Everyone wrote it off. Ran Nuna publicly wrote it off, and now of course the institutions are coming in hard for it, and they bought again yesterday, guys. They bought again yesterday. As my audio good? Nice to see you, Sandip. And let's shout a few more people out. Is my audio okay, guys? So this is my favorite transgender channel. Thanks very much. David this morning. Yeah, keep the comments nice, please, guys. It's been a tough old ride, but we need that cop positivity, as I heard Ivan say today. Nice comments only, please. Uh, NJ Dub says RH is currently rage pumping, rage pumping. Yeah, I like it, rage pumping. Yeah, well, that's what people are going to have to do. Just as people had to rage pump Solana, and people will be rage pumping Ethereum soon, they're going to start rage pumping Pulsechain. But this is fabulous. I mean, we were due. Well, this isn't a Bitcoin. I mean, to be, that's quite weird because it's not particularly weird that we're going up so much. It's weird that we're going up so much when everything else is going down so much. Because of course, unless you've been unconscious or something the last couple of days, you'll know that Donald Trump has told the population of the capital of Iran to evacuate. Very certainly escalates the drama and things, but yeah, everyone says that things are escalating there, but in some ways things are de-escalating, because what's happening is you've got two warring factions. In simple terms, you've got Israel and you've got Iran, and they're going at each other. Now, what can stop that is if one becomes sufficiently weakened that they become submissive, that they want to agree to whatever the Americans want them to do in terms of peace treaties and things, and that's where we're very rapidly getting to with Iran. From the start of the hostility, the Israelis and the Americans had the front foot. They had the advantage. They stole the march because the Iranians weren't expecting it as suddenly as it came. Took out all the nuclear scientists, took out all their aerial defense. The Israelis have got air superiority, so they can strike whenever they like. Every time the Iranians fire missiles at the Israelis can hit them back with their fighter jets and with their missiles 100 times harder. So it's a completely futile skirmish, and in actual fact it is, the longer it goes on, as in the coming days, I don't see it going on very long, because, as I say, because the Israelis have got so much dominance over them in terms of their strategic fighting capability now. If it goes on another week, then that's another 5 years until the Iranians could have nuclear capability. Now, I'm not taking a political side, I'm just looking at this in terms of the investment. As I said yesterday, that you could argue that if this lessens the chance of a nuclear conflict, that actually markets will like this, in that it reduces, that really presents a risk. As I said yesterday, if we did have those types of bombs going off in the Middle East, then does that mean everyone in the Western world's got to stay in their house for a month, like in COVID, all that sort of thing? Yes. Who else we got? Check my pulse. He always has a nice comment. He says, it's the journey, not the destination. Have learned a lot and enjoyed the ride since Pulsechain Waiting Lounge. That's right. We started in the Pulsechain Waiting Lounge, which was a lot longer than we thought. I thought it'd be a couple of months we were in the waiting lounge. It was a couple of years we were waiting in the lounge. And now this is taking longer as well. But, it's going at its own time scale. It's going at its own time scale, not our time scale. And despite all of this, Bitcoin is still 106,000. And Ethereum is still over 2,500. And of course, Hex on Pulsechain, they're just doing so incredibly well today. I want it, obviously some big whale moves. It's the big players that move the markets, guys, not us. It's not us. It's not everyone in a crowded spaces, complaining about this or that, or if they all collectively got together and put their life savings in, they probably wouldn't move the market, But it's big players. So some big players are making moves. And so in this stream, we're going to talk about the fact that Richard has signaled that you're all going to be very happy in 2 months. There's a lot of speculation about what that timescale refers to, and I've heard a few theories, and I like them all. And we're going to unpack some of the theories around why Richard has predicting 2 months, and then I'll give you my theory. Yeah, so make yourself comfortable and all that. So one theory is that we're waiting for the SEC to not appeal. That deadline is the 5th of July, and that, you know, shortly after that, if Richard's doing some streaming and things like that, that would be a period when Hex and Pulsechain would be up a lot. It's one theory I've heard. Another theory is that Richard's had an indication that the red notice issue will be resolved within that period, or he thinks that it's going to be resolved in that period, and that would allow him to make more moves, and it would allow him to stream and things like that, which would send Hex and Pulsechain to the moon. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. And I could see that could well be the case, and Corey Geary talks about that, and others, you know, that the lawyers may have told Richard that they're making great progress and that they think there'll be some resolution within 2 months. And it was about a week ago he said that, so within the next 7 weeks, I suppose. The theory that I like most is that Richard's looking at the market and thinking that Ethereum's going to be a lot higher within the next 2 months. That we are now transitioning to Ethereum, which is the first phase of altcoin season. We are seeing aggressive, consistent buying from the institutions. We saw buying again yesterday. Let's see what we saw yesterday. So even during this conflict, we saw both BlackRock and Fidelity going in. BlackRock bought $16.1 million worth of Ethereum yesterday, guys, and Fidelity bought 5.3 million. So there was 21 million bought yesterday. Tiny blip the day before, just 2 million sold, but the day before that 112 million, the day before that 250 million, $250 million. So more or less you could still say, because 2 million is nothing, you could still pretty much say that every day for weeks now, for many weeks now, we've seen consistent hard buying. First time ever in this cycle. So it could be that Richard's looking at this and looking at things like the probability that Jerome's going to reduce the rates within the next 2 months. So it could have been a reference to that. It could be that Richard thinks that we'll get a rate cut by August, and that would be amazing. July, August. I think there's a meeting. I think there's definitely a meeting. It could be, anyway, it could be linked to that as well. So very promising, guys. Very promising. We get sack rate, and do we like? Yeah, I think we'll easily get to sack rate. It's just that what we're seeing is that Donald Trump is rocks the marketplace. He can be very supportive, but he can also send shockwave through the market. We saw it 10 days ago with Elon Musk. We see it now with him telling the Iranians to evacuate and things. That he's very good at getting attention. He's very good at moving the markets and things. And because of where we are in the cycle still, we see that the altcoins suffer a lot more than Bitcoin. And what I'm expecting to start to see is Ethereum starting to suffer a lot less as well, and that will be massively beneficial to Pulsechain. You see, the problem is that if we keep getting scares linked to Trump or resulting from Trump directly every 10 days or so, and the altcoins take a couple of weeks to recover, then you see the problem. And that is the issue, and that's why we just can't get the momentum going with the altcoins, because every time there's a scare, Bitcoin will drop 3%, the altcoins will drop 10%, Bitcoin will recover in a few days, and the altcoins will take a couple of weeks to recover. So in that backdrop, you can see why it's no surprises then that we can't really get into the next phase. The other thing that's happening with the altcoins, guys, is that people will see some positive price action, they get in, And before they get a chance to make some gains and get their friends in, there's another one of these scares which is affecting, particularly if they're buying things like, you know, new L1s and things. I mean, it's not just Pulsechain that still hasn't, you know, gone up a gear. It's also things like Aptos. I mean, it's incredible that Aptos is still, I think it's less than $5 today. And I never would have thought that Aptos would be below, say, $10 at this stage. But it is still, And so that's the issue there, really, guys. Let me try and have a little bit of a drink. How are you all doing? I'll look at the chat as well. It's not clear. Okay. People complaining about my sound volume and things. Cryptomatics in the house. You know what? Sometimes when I do these on my phone and people say, "Oh, it sounds terrible," blah blah. Oh God, okay. Then I listen back, so fine. What's the matter? Nobody else is complaining. This Chowdhury guy, he jumps in and he always asks me questions as if I'm giving him direct consultancy and he's paid me a lot of money. He always disrupts whatever I'm saying to ask me stuff. And then he gets very upset if I don't immediately answer. And he never sends it in a super chat. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Every time it's this Ubad Chowdhury guy. He's never super chatted it. He's always like, tell me this, tell me that, I haven't got time. Or I'll say to him, yeah, I've just covered, I haven't got time to listen back, tell me again now. I haven't got time to listen to all your streams, Seven. I'm an important businessman. But you can't afford to super chat me. If you want to disrupt my streams, buddy, with questions, and then do it in a super chat, a massive super chat. Yeah. So how are you all doing? Isn't it amazing that Hex and Pulsechain are up so much? So nice. I didn't look, and then it's like, wow, this is unbelievable. So other than Ubao Chowdhury, is my audio okay, guys? I mean, you know, I don't like to shout in the garden and things, you know, but I can move this a bit nearer or whatever if it need be. Ink still up 38.3%. Fantastic. Because if enough people get behind this 2-month theory, even if there's nothing to it, then it'll just be like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and people will invest. People will invest. But it is time for Pulsechain to move. The other thing this guy does, he always talks about the SAC price. So he's obviously like got in at the SAC price, he didn't DCA down, intends to sell at the SAC price. You see quite a lot of that. The people that sell at the SAC price are going to be really upset subsequently. Because whenever we do eventually get to the SAC price, we probably won't take long to double it and treble it and 10x it. And then people will be like, oh my God, I can't believe I got out at the SAC price. So whenever I hear people asking me when I think we'll get to the SAC price, you kind of know that in their minds they got in at the SAC. They want to get out of the SAC because they don't want to. They're too proud to. It won't make any sense. If you've got that little confidence, you should just sell now, get into something else. But you know, sell today. Sell today, Chowdhury. Yeah. Good stuff. Elbow says sound is good. Kesey T says sound is fine. Thank you. So funny. So funny. Yeah, 94 people watching. It's interesting. So now the big question is, we're under 106 now for Bitcoin. The big question will be, what will the markets do? The other thing that Donald always seems to do is he's always announcing these things on the weekend on Air Force One, or he's announcing them after the markets have closed during the week, like he did yesterday. So the only thing that people can express their anxiety through is crypto. So crypto goes down again. But, you know, if the markets are, I mean, the markets were really good yesterday. The markets, I think NASDAQ was up 1.5% yesterday, which is a lot. The markets are practically at all-time high. But because of all the chop we've had in crypto, we don't feel like the markets are nearly at all-time high. And crypto, you know, because of all the chop we've had in the altcoins, and every time we start to get going, this is what we have. The sentiment's really poor, but that gives us the ability to go up a lot. But we could easily rocket back if the markets are less concerned than we obviously are by Donald Trump's latest comments around Iran. If the markets aren't that bothered, then we'll rocket back up to 108 again, because we were doing really well. The other thing you got to do is zoom out a little bit, because when this latest round of problems in Iran, Israel, only started on Friday, and we said these things take 2 weeks to iron out. So the fact that by Monday we were already up from 102 to 108, it was probably a little bit too rapidly, because that's only 4 days, not 2 weeks, and so we need a little bit longer. But yeah, 105,800 now. But Ethereum's still over 2,500, so we could rock it back just as quick again, or quicker, and then that will be really good, really good. Yes, yes, yes. Who else we got in the chat? 2 hexy for my shirt. I like that. 2 hexy for my shirt. Sandra Everson, Blobfish King, Archie S, Elbow. KCT says, like on entry, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. So does anyone know if there's a reason why Hex and Pulsechain are up so much? Or is it just... Fuck. Just dropped my stuff. Just dropped my stuff. Wow, that's good. Are you still with me? Sorry about that, guys. That's not so good. You still with me? I think you are. Why isn't that moving then? Maybe it's flat. Everything is fine. Thanks very much. Hi, Anita. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's weird, isn't it? It's such a contrast. It means we'll stand out a lot. The fact that crypto's down and Hex and Pulsechain's up so much makes us stand out, which is a good thing. Maybe that's why the market makers in Hex and Pulsechain have timed it this way. Maybe people are front running the 2-month thing. I think it's just Richard is anticipating. This is too wobbly. I have to get a better stand. I have got better stands. I should use them. This is just not steady enough. I have got better stands. Yeah. Hey, good to see you, Finn. Not seen you for ages. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I'm a bit discombobulated today, as people can probably see. And I've just spilt my tea, so I need a beverage. Exciting that Hex and Pulsechain are up so much. Exciting that crypto is not going down more despite this serious FUD, and whatever you want to call it, drama around Iran. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. Michael Freeman says, at 73, I understand that RH was the genius of crypto. I sacrificed into Pulsechain and don't regret it. So impressed you're still here, 7. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. And it's mad, isn't it? These people that you can tell they just want to exit on the sack price. I mean, if you've got that little confidence in terms of what we can achieve, then you'd be better off just selling now. Just getting hyperliquid or something. As that's running, as that's got momentum. Get out, you know. But ultimately, Hyperliquid's already seen big gains this cycle. We haven't. And ultimately, things go in rotation. So, you know, you can get in late to Hyperliquid, make another 2x before it dumps massively and Pulsechain suddenly takes off and you wish you were in Pulsechain still. Anyway. NJ Dub says there's a specific wallet that's been buying 1,000 of PLS every few minutes for the last 2 hours. Fantastic. Nice. PLS, great. I'm very bullish on PLS. It's the layer 1 and all that. I heard Ivan today was talking about Hex and Pulsechain, and he said, you know, it's interesting because his impression is that we're all just behind PDI now and not interested in Pulsechain. And of course, we're not getting into all that again and all the rest. What's done is done, and you know, that was my anxiety with the whole thing. You know, it's just like, it's such a weird message. You know, the only people getting convinced by it were the people sat around waiting to get rich in Hex and Pulsechain, who were convinced by one or two players. But you can see the damage it's done. It's like Ivan's really reluctant to even talk about us now. But anyway, fabulous. Just gonna block this guy. Yeah, just blocked somebody who's come in to tell us that Rich is a scammer. It's funny, isn't it, that actually that's made me smile. You see how, because that's actually very bullish, guys, because somebody's just come in to tell us that Richard is a scammer and he's the worst founder ever. Now, why do you think that he's just come in to tell us that today? It's because we are shining and he's salty. We keep going up, he'll buy tomorrow. Isn't it funny? So you see, this is what I'm talking about, the attention, how we're getting noticed, finally. So this is wonderful because you see, he's like, oh no, I got into Hyperliquid and now Pulsechain's gone up. Put all my money into Hyperliquid and it's down today. Why is Pulsechain up? It's a scam. This is exactly what you want, isn't it? You know we're getting to Monaco when people are coming in to my chat to warn us all about Richard Hart. Just a guy says, wait, Richard is a scammer and the worst founder ever. I better sell. You know. They don't come in on the red days, they come in on the green days. It's so funny. It's so funny. We're gonna get a lot of that, aren't we? We're gonna get a lot of that. That's good. Block. Yodin says RH is the best man in crypto. Thanks, Yodin. Just gonna try and there is a bit of drink left here, you know. Things are looking up. It's a funny day, isn't it? When crypto's down and more drama in Iran, and then you look over at Hex and Pulsechain and it's like, wow, that's not all bad, is it? Not all bad. It's too hot. Right. Okay, guys, I'll leave it there. Thanks very much. Sorry I wasn't very, a bit all over the place today. Anyway, appreciate you all. Thanks very much. Good to see you, Finn. I'll chat to you all soon. Cheers. Bye.